Beginning now on BBC One, a new series of Paddles Up from the River Tryweryn in North Wales.
Welcome to the fourth season of Paddles Up, which has returned to the picturesque and spectacular setting of the River Tryweryn in North Wales. Now, Paddles Up is unique in that it is television's only international event in which men and women can compete on level terms over the same course. It combines the grace and skill of the slalom with the thrills and spills of wild water canoeing. We also, of course, have a few extra hazards ingeniously devised by, among others, John Gosling, a former expedition canoeist and now one of the managers of the British slalom team. John, we're in for a bit of fun.
We certainly are. Over the years with Paddles Up, we've progressively got the courses better and better and more fun, we believe. We don't go away from the basic slalom skills and whitewater skills, but adding things like the tyre in the early series and now the slide, it's really got exciting. The paddlers really do enjoy it.
Yes, they really do seem to think it's great fun themselves.
Certainly, it's one of the main events on the international calendar now. I mean, we've brought paddlers in from all over the world again, and they really enjoy coming, and it is put on the dates. You know, they mark it in their diaries. Paddles Up is when it is.
And once again, it's attracted an immensely strong field.
Well, yeah, we're very fortunate. In the ladies' heat, every lady has got a medal. You know, the top 5 in the world are here. We've even got the world champion, which is tremendous. In the men's, we have Fox, we have Peter Mittler, gold and silver at the World Championships, Donald Johnson, the defending champion. It's absolutely tremendous.
So we're in for some great entertainment. And now let's have a look at the paddlers for the first heat.
Ian Raspin, 18-year-old European youth champion from Great Britain. Ian Wiley, 18 years old and the youngest man in the competition from Ireland. 28-year-old Jimmy Jays from Great Britain. 27-year-old Peter Mittler, one of the dark horses in this year's competition from West Germany. Jim Dolan at 29, the oldest competitor in the field from Great Britain. Donald Johnson, the 22-year-old defending champion from New Zealand. So Ian Raspin, 18 years of age, the European youth champion, reckoned to be one of the best young prospects since Richard Fox, launches, paddles up, in he goes and makes his way to the first of the 2 forward gates. Safely through that, no problem there at all, hitting the rougher water now, and into the second, again, easily through. A lovely flowing stroke, and the first now of the 2 limbo gates is safely under that. The second one's slightly more tricky, but again, he clears that without any trouble, but into the rougher water now. Now the 360-degree turn, safely negotiated, a very nice piece of controlled canoeing, and he comes in now through the next gate and safely around again. Another 360-degree turn, and very difficult, but he's making it look exceptionally easy as he goes down now past the marker gate and in between 2 very difficult little rocks which are sticking up there, but he's managed to negotiate that beautifully. This now the reverse gate, number 9, and turns round for the pirouette. Now he's got to have 2 shots at this. This caused all sorts of problems last year. He's had one sort of half attempt. He's got to go round again for 2, and then it's up to him. He would be well advised, I think, just to give it a miss. He did very tremendous effort, but he's wasting time and he's over. No, he's managed to right himself, but he's wasted a lot of time, and he's picked up 5 penalty points to finish in a time of 1 minute 18.6. The youngest man in the competition, Ian Wiley from Ireland, 18 years of age. Down the slipway and on he goes to the first of the forward gates, making his way now through that and into the second one. And one of them was promising Irish paddlers since Shane Kelly, John.
That's right, yeah, and Ian here going through the limbos. The first one very easy, but this one very difficult. You can see the fall there, hits the stopper wave there, which is the wave that turns back on itself, Chris, as he comes down to the 360-degree gate and now approaches gate 6 on Ballamill Falls.
So down he goes, and he'll now have to turn and come round at 360 degrees. Just went a little bit too far past that, but powerful young man. And a penalty he's picked up there.
Yeah, he gets penalties if he hits any of these gates. It's 5 seconds, and he hit that single pole, so he's on a 5, past 8, going down to this very tricky reverse gate because there's a big hole there. that he's hit it and picked up another 5 there, Chris.
And let's see now what he can do with the pirouette. He's going round trying on the first attempt. He's going back up to have a second attempt. Remember, they must have 2 attempts, and then they can make for the line if they want. And he's done it. Well, that's marvellous. And now he can make his way with a great deal of speed to the finish. But he's still picked up those 10 penalty points to finish in a time of 1 minute 21.7. The 1985 British champion Jimmy Jays, and who can remember, those of you who were watching last year, it was Jimmy's boat which broke up in the heavy water, and he tells us he's only brought the 1 boat this time, so we'll be hoping that there's no repeat of that as he's safely through the first of the 2 forward gates.
Yeah, Jimmy here. New improved. Oh, and he almost made a mistake there and went over, almost had to roll. I think he cleared the limbo, but he cleared the second one beautifully now as he approaches his 360-degree gate. He'll be a bit upset about that and want to make time up on the bottom half of this course, Chris.
Yes, he's making his way now down, and he's now got to do the 360-degree reverse turn.
I don't know whether you noticed there, Chris, he completely missed that gate, which gives him a 20-second penalty. He's not disqualified because he attempted it, but he's just collected a 20. Jimmy is going to be most upset. Paddles up seems to be the jinx event for him.
Well, the boat's still intact anyways. He makes his way now down to the final part of the course, and safely through that marker, and now the reverse.
Yeah, this reverse, as I said, tricky gate there. Jimmy makes it look easy, but comes to this pirouette gate where he has to dip the stern of the boat and hit the ball, and does it first time brilliantly.
Well, you win some, you lose some. He makes his way now to the finish, but of course he picked up those 25 penalty points and finished in a time of 1 minute 36.4. A first-time appearance for Peter Michler from West Germany, who came second in the 1985 World Championship, second to Richard Fox, confidently in and making his way into the first game. A very fine paddler, John.
Yes, and I think Peter should beat this leading time so far of 1 minute 18.6 put up by Raspin. But anything can happen, as we've seen. He goes under the limbos here. Peter from Augsburg, where the last World Championships were, tremendous competitor, and he's really looking forward to this competition. I was talking to him just before, and he was saying they've just run one in Augsburg where they made him drink a pint of bitter at the end of the course.
Well, he has the course just on his own doorstep, I understand. He's going now through the 360-degree turn and making a very good fist of this opening time, 1:18.6. That's the time he has to beat. He's going now down by the marker gate and into the reverse, and paddling very fast indeed, making good progress.
Yeah, he looks completely clear here, Chris, so far. Makes that gate look simple now. This is the pirouette. Can he do it or can't he?
Well, we saw Jimmy Jays do it very well indeed. He hasn't done it on the first one. He'll come back. Certainly he's got to try a second, wasting valuable time now, though. He's got to try and get in and up, and he's not going to. No, he's decided to do without it, so he makes straight for the finish. So with just those 5 penalty points at the pirouette, Peter Michler goes into the lead with a finishing time of 1 minute 14.1. The only Scot in the field, Jim Dolan, aged 29, and the senior member of the British competitors. He's enjoying his 3rd paddles up, so he's pretty well experienced in this event, John.
Yeah, Jimmy is a great competitor, super character, and he's a former world team champion. He represented Britain at Murano, where they won the team gold medal, and Jimmy has an awful lot of experience. You see there, just lets go the paddle to make sure he's completely safe under the limbo gate. Slightly different technique, and he's also doing a spin here, breaking out left and cutting over the fast-moving water into the slow eddy for the 360 gate climb.
1 minute 14.1 to beat, and he's certainly going for that. He was saying to me that it's a young man's sport, but he's been involved in it some time. He's just come down a little bit far there and having to make up ground on that one, John. 360-degree turn.
Yeah, he's going nice and steady. He'll try and keep a clear run, and Jimmy likes to do clear runs because that's how he thinks he can win. He's approaching this reverse gate. He really shouldn't have any trouble just on this bit, but the pirouette, anything can happen, as we've already said.
Safely through the reverse, and now let's see what he can do on the pirouette. We've seen a few disasters going up almost. It must be so frustrating for them to be so near and yet so far, and he's not going to get that, I don't think. Oh, he's making a very brave attempt at it, but deciding that he'll have the 5 penalty points for that and makes his way to the finishing line with 5 penalty points, picked up that pirouette. 1 minute 20.9. The reigning paddles up champion, Donald Johnson from New Zealand, age 22, an outsider last year, came through from the back of the pack into the water he goes. A little bit of a delay there as he makes his way to the first game, but very, very fine paddler indeed, going through the second and on now towards the first of the limbos, safely under that.
Yeah, Donald likes these short courses. He said he likes to paddle for about 60 seconds. And he's aiming to go nice and steady on the first half of the course and make it up on the second half of the course. And we'll see him now as he goes over Millfall. This gate is positioned in a slot there, Chris, and it looks, these paddlers make it look simple, but it's an incredibly difficult manoeuvre, that gate 6 onto gate 7. He's looking very smooth, very calm and very relaxed.
Very smooth indeed. In 1 minute 14.1, the time to beat. He goes on to the reverse gate, and remember, this is the first time that these paddlers have had experience of the course. No practice times allowed. He's safely through that, and now he makes his way to the pirouette, and 1:14.1 looks very much within his compass, but he's missed on the first attempt. Let's see what he can do on the second attempt at the pirouette. He gets the bow up, but not far enough, and he's decided that he'll give that a miss, go straight for the finish, and his 5 penalty points picked up at the pirouette give him a total of 1 minute 14.4, and he goes into second place. So here we have the result of the first half. Peter Mickler with a time of 1 minute 14.1, Donald Johnson with a time of 1 minute 14.4, Ian Raspin 1 minute 18.6, Jim Dolan 1 minute 20.9, Ian Wiley 1 minute 21.7, and Jimmy Jays with a time of 1 minute 36.4.
So here we are, the second part of the first heat, and we've moved up to a new course, a very demanding one it is too. But before we start, let's have a word with the defending champion, Donald Johnson from New Zealand. Donald, an encouraging start for you.
Oh yes, quite pleased with that run. It was good to get Bala Millfall out of the way straight off.
A fairly daunting prospect that, isn't it?
Yes, I was quite pleased to get that over and done with, but yes, I took it rather carefully this time, and I think I should have a good start in the first heat.
And you made a lot better start than you did last year.
Yes, last year I got quite a few penalty points, and I didn't get that ball again, so yes.
No, well, you were in good company there.
Yeah. It's good to see other people missing it as well.
There's a little bit of competition behind you, isn't there?
Oh yes, they're all top paddlers, and they can all pull out a good run at any moment, so the pressure's really on.
How confident are you of winning again?
It's really hard to say. I mean, it's just, you have to go down. It's your first, every run's just straight off first run. We can only see what happens, really.
Well, all the very best. And let me now remind you, just before we get started, of the second part of this first heat, the new course, as I said. The times accumulated from the first heat are added on, and first off is Jimmy Jays.
So Jimmy Jays, a disappointing time in the first part of this heat, some 22 seconds behind the leader Peter Mickler, but John Gosling, anyone has a chance at this stage.
That's right, yeah, this second half of the course is really tricky. Jimmy come down there through gate 1, and now gate 2, the orange poles are upstream. He's hit a penalty there, but rides across that stopper, which is the way of turning back on itself, towards gate 3. So Jimmy's already picked up a 5-second penalty and could be in trouble.
Downstream he comes, and certainly not the start he wanted. He's coming now to the roll gate, the Eskimo roll. We have a camera position to see it well. He's well through that, so that'll have given him a little bit more confidence.
Yeah, now this gate, excellently done there in a straight line by Jays. It's in the eddy, which is the slack water. He's coming out the slack water now into the fast flowing water, and now into another upstream gate, the orange gate there. Through that gate very nicely. Jay's putting on a bit of pressure here as he goes now to the tube to pass his paddle through.
And he's having a little bit of trouble there. He's taking his time to pass the paddle through, so he's got it now. He has to go across the flow and in between the orange and the green, which he's done, although he touched that, picked up another 5 penalties. He hits the target, no problem there. He now comes down into this huge stopper wave. A little bit of trouble there, but he's safely through, and he's got the reverse upstream gate now. And he turns round, and the name of the game now, the paddle at them through. Oh, he hasn't got it through. And 15 penalty points for Jimmy Jays, and a time of 3 minutes 11.9. Next away, Ian Wiley, the youngest competitor, 18-year-old Irishman, probably heard what happened to Jimmy Jays, and would certainly not want the same thing to happen to him. Down safely through the first, and on his way.
Yeah, Ian there doing the gate slightly different to Jimmy. He did what we call the Murano move, and it certainly helped it, and he's very crafty there. Excellent. Misses the stopper completely, which is what we didn't intend. Very crafty, just a bit of Irish cunning there, Chris.
Great maturity for an 18-year-old as he makes his way now to the roll gate, the Eskimo roll, down and round and up, safely through that, shaking the water out of his ears, and looking very controlled and very respectable time so far.
Yeah, he's slow there. He's into the slack water again and having trouble, and he's going to be a bit upset about that. He's going across though and paddling well, and he's really trying hard. He's not only trying to get through to the final, but he's trying to beat Ian Raspin, who is the other youth paddler in this event. And so he's out to prove that he's faster than Raspin, and if he is, he might stand a chance at the Worlds this year.
Well, safely through the hoop and now across the flow, which demands a great amount of strength and skill. He's safely through that. Now the target, which he hits with no problem at all. In now, down into this deep stopper wave. And he's in a little bit of trouble there, but managed to negotiate his way through the gate. Comes back down and turns and up through this second last hazard and down, and the paddle will have to go up over the finishing line, and for the second time in succession we've seen the failure there, and the 5 penalties picked up on the finishing post gives him a time of 2 minutes 49 seconds. Jim Dolan from Edinburgh, the time to beat so far, 2 minutes 49 seconds as he races up to this first gate, and a very determined look there is on the face of the most experienced competitor as he goes through, and now turns and see what the manoeuvre he does here, John. He's in trouble, whatever he's doing.
Yeah, that's right. His boat got caught in the eddy there and the slack water, but he's ridden across the stopper. He's got held up in that. Power and strength there was what did it for him now, and he's sprinting on down to the roll gate. And it's all in this gate, Chris, because when they approach it, it's how fast they go underwater and come up. And you see the hesitant there, that can cost him seconds, and he completely lost there, clearing his head, trying to do this in one manoeuvre, and he's done it and gone too far into that slack water again now before he does this cross across.
Now he's in trouble because the time ticking away, and it doesn't look as if he's going to better Ian Wiley's time. He's still losing a little bit of time here, just lost his confidence and the composure for a little bit as he comes now to the hoop again. They're taking their time over this. He's through the hoop and having to come across, but he's badly placed for that.
Yeah, but these guys make this piece of the water look so easy. That is so difficult to do, and yet he does it so simple, tries to destroy the target there, through that incredibly powerful stopper, down through gate 9, and now he's just got the two simple things, shall we say, to do, the upstream gate and the paddles up.
Well, the paddles up so far hasn't proved to be too simple. Let's see if Jim Dolan can do it. He's made absolutely certain of it, and no penalty points at all on the descent, and he finishes in a time of 2 minutes 46 and takes the lead. A young man of tremendous potential, 18-year-old Ian Raspin, ranked 4th in Great Britain. A tremendous youth career he had, and he looks as if he's going to follow this in at senior level. He's a tremendous composure.
Yeah, he actually took the wrong line there, Chris, from gate 1 to gate 2. I think you gave him the kiss of death, but he's up there nicely. No one has done the manoeuvre, and he's stuck in the stopper there. The wave's turning back on itself, held him. And no one has done that gate 2 like Ian Wiley. And Raspin moving on downstream now, down towards the underwater, the roll gate.
Well, he's just lost a bit of momentum, hasn't he, John, after his mistakes on those first 2 gates, and he'll just take a little bit of time now to get back into his stride.
Certainly will. He's really sluggish there. I think he's really upset about the top half of the course, and the art of this game is to shrug it straight off if you make a mistake and keep on going. The time's not looking too bad because he's got 2:46 to beat, which is Jimmy Dolan's time as he passes his paddle through there and then has to put the power on here to get far enough upstream to do that manoeuvre there. Does it almost over again as he goes to the target, hits the target, wasting time, desperate time there to look back at the target. Silly mistake by Raspin.
Yes, it didn't sort of come back into place, I think, and he was determined to have a look to see what he'd done. But anyway, he seems to have got himself back and up over the last. And although it's not a time which will please him, 2 minutes 41 has put him into the lead. Donald Johnson, the defending champion, makes determinedly for this first hazard. He's tremendously confident, had a good first run, certainly much better than his first run in the previous paddles up when he came from behind, and that's a fine manoeuvre. He's done that very well indeed. Now going across, John, and this looks like a promising start for Donald Johnson.
Yeah, he was very quick around those first 3 gates, and he's going down towards the roll gate. And I know Donald, this is the other bit of the course, he loves rolling. He's got no problem rolling. It's just that they know that when they go over there, the water's so bitter cold that when they come up, they've lost the senses for a few moments. You can see him there having trouble, but comes down, does that manoeuvre in one. Not as good as Jimmy Jay's did, but having said that, he's just got to put up a reasonable time here to go through to the final, and he knows it.
Yes, he seemed to take a little bit of time just to get his bearings back after the Eskimo roll. He's got them back now, though, and now he makes his way down to the hoop, and that's well done. He's done that quickly. Now coming across again, just wasting a little bit of time there, but managing to do that manoeuvre as they've all done so well. And now to the target. Gets that, a bullseye there. And coming through now into the big stopper, making light of that through. And this is a very, very respectable time. He's going down and up, through, and we have the one hazard to go. It's a very respectable time indeed for Donald Johnson. 2 minutes 32.9 seconds, and takes the lead in the heat. Now the leader after the first stage of the first heat, Peter Michler, West Germany, and he will know certainly that his great rival Donald Johnson put up a very good time in that heat, so that's what he's got to beat. 2 minutes 32.9, and a good start.
Yeah, and Peter there does exactly the same as well. He's very crafty, put round that one pole on that upstream gate now, sprinting on down. Now last year in the heat, Peter blew it around this point on the roll gate. I don't know why, he doesn't know why, but he's determined to do it this year. Very fast roll indeed there. Doesn't seem to be worried at all. Can he do this big sweep stroke there? Held the right-hand paddle in there, the right-hand side of his boat. Very quick indeed. This looks like a very impressive run for us. He's very tight on these gates. Peter Michler certainly seems to have it sussed out here. Number 2 in the world to Richard Fox.
Yes, he's saving seconds, and again, it's worthwhile reminding you that these paddlers haven't had any experience of this course. This is the first time they've gone down it. He's wasted just a little bit of time there at the hoop, but very quickly around those gates, the target was hit quite easily, and down he comes now into the final stretch.
Yeah, this last gate now, it's the S gate. They go in from one side, out the other, very quickly indeed.
And he throws the paddle over the finishing line with a time of 2 minutes 27.1 to win the first heat ahead of the defending champion Donald Johnson. And the final results: Peter Michler, 2 minutes 27.1. Donald Johnson with a time of 2 minutes 32.9. Ian Raspin, 2 minutes 41.1. Jim Dolan, 2 minutes 46. Ian Wiley, 2 minutes 49, and Jimmy Jays with a time of 3 minutes 11.92.
After the first heat then, we have Peter Michler, the West German, and the defending champion, 22-year-old Donald Johnson from New Zealand, who are through to the final. And that, John, would be very much as expected, I think.
Yeah, they were the best two on the day. It could have been any two from the 6 going through. But pleased to see Peter there because he had a lot of bad luck last year. Donald, very happy to be through to defend the Paddles Up trophy.
And what can we expect then from Heat 2?
Well, there's 6 top paddlers in the heat, but being led by Richard Fox, the world champion 3 times. But also, he was the runner-up last year in Paddles Up, and he failed by doing this rung. He threw his paddles up, they bounced back on the finish line. He got a 5-second penalty, and it let Donald Johnson through. I know Richard's been considering training for this, actually throwing his paddles in the air. I don't think he's actually trained that hard for it, but I know it's in the back of his mind, and I know he's asked us, and we have done. We've actually put little sticks or poles up off the Paddles Up banner so that they can throw them over. No arguments this year. I think Richard might do well. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, to find out if Richard Fox's training has paid off, join us again for the second heat of Paddles Up. Here we are again on the banks of the River Tryweryn in North Wales for the second heat of Paddles Up. Now, if you remember from the first heat, we already have 2 paddlers through to the final. They are Peter Michler from West Germany and the 22-year-old New Zealander Donald Johnson, the defending champion. In the second heat, we have the triple world champion Richard Fox, who was pipped at the post for last year's Paddles Up and is determined to put that right this year. So let's now have a look at the list of the competitors for this second heat.
Melvin Jones, 21 years old, making his 4th appearance in Paddles Up from Great Britain. Fritz Sins, the 21-year-old Dutch champion. Andy Gladwin, 21-year-old student from Great Britain. Manuel Brissot, 23-year-old from France and a strong contender this year. Yannick Skak, the 22-year-old Yugoslav champion and the first competitor in paddles up from the Eastern Bloc. And Richard Fox, the reigning world champion, awarded the MBE for his services to the sport. The first competitor in Heat 2, Melvin Jones, aged 21 and certainly the most experienced member of Paddles Up. This is his fourth year. He's been in it since the start, 1983, so he knows the format well enough. And with me again, John Gosling. I think, John, that Melvin is one of the short sprint specialists.
Yeah, we have an event each year called Slalom Sprint, and Melvin is the current leader. He's beating Fox and all the other Brits. He's very good at these short courses, as Johnson, like in the first heat, said he enjoyed paddling 60-second courses. Melvin does as well, and I'll be interested to see if Melvin can be the first person to break 60 seconds for this first one, and he hits the first of the left-hand green pole there, which hits the other one, but he still only gets the 5-second penalty.
Ranked number 5 in the country. He's through the marker and now makes his way to the reverse gate.
In fact there, Chris, I've just been cleared that Melvin actually got a 20 on that gate because he didn't go through it. He bounced the gate away from him, so he's got 20 seconds at the moment as he approaches the pirouette.
And now approaching it from a slightly different angle to the other paddlers we saw in the first heat. It's still been no more successful for him. He's having to go round. He'll drop another 5, then he's going back again to have another shot, but he'll have to give that up now. I think he'll turn and go straight for the finishing line, having picked up 25 penalty points and finishing in a time of 1 minute 41.5. The Dutch national champion Frits Sins on the slipway, his third paddles up, so he knows what to expect. In he goes. I don't think he quite expected that, though. He'd lost a little bit of time getting himself right from the launching pad. He's now through the first gate and on safely up to the second.
Yeah, Fritz's family is a real canoeing family. His sister's competed in paddles up, and she's put up a good performance. And as you say, Fritz is a veteran now at paddles up. His parents are wonderful people, and he's flown over especially for this event for us, and tremendous guy.
Veteran at the age of 21, and he comes down up through that gate and well down. He's nearly turned there, though. Lost a little bit of time as he goes through the 360-degree turn, but safely around that, and he recovered very well. As if he might have gone over there. He's going now up through the marker gate.
Yeah, he's now coming down. It was the current underneath. The competitor's nose there, and he hits the rock, and I think he cleared it. He might have just got a 5. Yeah, he got a 5 there, Chris. Hit the rock, approaching it wrong, into the pirouette and gets the ball. Tremendous.
So he made up for that on the pirouette, but got the 5 penalties and finishes in 1 minute 9.2. On the ramp, Andrew Gladwin, age 21, a student of art design, and in he goes.
Yeah, coming down the slide there, which is an adaptation of a sea launch, which is sliding off the bank, Chris. And the paddlers really enjoy this slide now. The first time he ever did it, they were a bit worried, but now they really look forward to it and keep asking it forward to go higher and higher. Andy there, another paddler from a canoeing family. His brothers represented Britain, and Andy is one of the Europa Cup team for us there as he goes under the limbo. Back flips up nicely there, comes down. Andy is a real up-and-coming star these days in the British team.
He's having to combine his studies as a student with almost full-time canoeing. He's managing very well at the moment, and down he goes now and round up through the 360-degree turn, paddling very strongly there. The current is immensely strong, but these guys are so good they hardly notice it, and through they go up through the marker gate and then on to the reverse gate, which has caused a few problems, but Andy turning on the right line and getting nicely through it, and now he goes on to the pirouette. Let's see what he can do with this. Great fun. Well, he's got it, and he's making his way now, and this is a tremendous time, the sprint finish, and this is going to be the best time. Andy finishes in a time of 1 minute 3.6 seconds, the fastest time and the first all-clear descent in 1986 paddles up. Manuel Brissot from France, who lives and trains at Bourg-Saint-Maurice, where the World Championships are to be held next year, and he's got a formidable time to beat, 1 minute 3.6 set by Andy Gladwin. And so off he goes on his way through the first of the forward gates, now up and through the second. No problem there, John.
No problem at all. Well, performed very well last year and got through to the final, and he's making it look simple on the limbos. tremendously lean back there. They've all got their own different ways. Remember in Heat 1, Jimmy Dolan leant down and let go of his paddle, but now while they're coming round the 360, down this difficult fall here, through the slot, through the stopper wave, which is that wave that turns back on itself. Low breakout, he won't be happy there, but he now drives up and tries to turn the boat before he goes into the stopper again. This water looks calm in comparison to what they've just been going on, but it's very tricky, very technical. And he's moving down now to this reverse gate, which is causing problems, as we said it would.
But not for Manuel Brissot. He's through that. Now, can he clear the course as well? Like Andy Gladwin, it would certainly be remarkable if he could. It's one attempt at the pirouette has failed. He's going round for a second. The time ticking away now, because that time will be exceptionally hard to beat. He's not going to make it. He's decided to cut his losses, make for the line, and finishes with that 5-point penalty in a time of 1 minute 16.1. Yannick Skak, the first competitor we've had in Paddles Up from the Eastern Bloc countries, 22 years of age from Yugoslavia, and in he goes, his first time in Paddles Up. It'll be interesting to see what he makes of this jump.
Yeah, and I've agreed with him already before you tell me off, Chris. I call him Jans. But anyway, he's coming down now. He was a tremendous youth paddler. He did very well as a youth, and he hasn't quite fulfilled his senior level, but I think at this year's pre-Worlds and at next year's World Championships we'll see some tremendous performances from this lad, and hopefully we'll see some at Paddles Up this year.
What are the special skills that the Eastern Bloc countries have?
They have the advantage, I suppose, that they are allowed to train virtual full-time, which our lads have to work for a living. But apart from that, they tend to use British or European, Western European designed boats and equipment. So at the moment, Britain lead the world in slalom canoeing, so therefore they're following our lead.
Well, he's making a fair fist of that, safely through the reverse gate. He may be wasting a little bit of time, just lost a little bit of time after that reverse gate, but through it safely enough. Now he goes, and he's touched it. He's done very well indeed. Magnificent effort there by Yannick Skak, and he goes for the line and finishes in a magnificent time, 1 minute 2.2, and that puts him into the lead. The man they all have to beat, Richard Fox, the world champion, the reigning champion, and came second in Paddles Up last year, so he's got a bit to prove to himself. He goes now for this first gate, and look at the determination on the face of Richard Fox.
Yeah, Richard is not just the current, he's 3 times world champion and current European champion, and Foxy is out to win Paddles Up. He's very involved with course design on Paddles Up and in slalom. And you can see the speed he's now moving in comparison to these other paddlers. A bit slow there, he won't be happy. If anyone can clear the course and do it, Fox can, but he'll power on here, holds the boat steady through that stopper very high there, incredibly high, Chris.
Oh, I think that's absolutely magnificent, and although there's a little bit of fun in this, the competitive nature of all these paddlers comes out, doesn't it?
Yeah, we've said before, Paddles Up is a fun event as long as you're winning. And Fox now going into the reverse. Now, can he do the pirouette? He's told me he's definitely going to do it. Let's see if he can do it.
Well, he's been given a very fast time to beat. He hasn't certainly got it in the first one. He's going back. I doubt if he'll want to be beaten by this, having set the course. He felt it could be done. Oh, he's going to miss it again, and the time's ticking on. He's certainly not going to be fastest. He's picked up a 5 penalty point there. He makes for the line, and he finishes in a time of 1 minute 13.03. The halfway results. Yannick Skak with a time of 1 minute 2.2. Andy Gladwin with a time of 1 minute 3.6. Fritz Sins, 1 minute 9.2. Richard Fox, 1 minute 13. Manuel Brissot, 1 minute 16.1. And Melvin Jones, 1 minute 41.5.
Now we move to the second course for the second heat, and Richard Fox, I've got to put it to you after that first effort on the pirouette, you'll need to do something about that.
Yeah, I really thought I had it the second time. I was just inches off it, but the curse continues, I know. It's...
Yeah. Determination to get it, though, you kept trying very hard.
Well, that's right. It's really tempting. You get there and you don't want to go across the line until you've done it, but the seconds are just ticking away, and I wasted too much time messing around, I think.
What did you feel about the course generally?
I thought it was quite good. I was happy with it. You know, I didn't go as well as I'd hoped for me personally, but I think it was quite good. It's very fast, you know, it's just over a minute, I think, for the fastest guys, which is about right.
That's, I mean, you came down very fast to the pirouette.
That's right, maybe too fast.
Well, it's an exciting prospect ahead of us now, anyway, this course.
Yeah, I think the second course here is going to be very exciting. We got 2 good drops on it, and there's a lot to happen. A lot can go wrong here. The obstacles are very close together. So I think we could see a few spills.
And you've got a little bit of time to make up.
I've got about 10 seconds, I'm told, so yeah, I've got to go and get ready.
So up on the start line for this second heat, Melvin Jones, who made a bit of a hash of his first half, 1 minute 41.5, so he'll have to come down this second course clean, John Gosling.
Yeah, Melvin was very unhappy speaking to him in the break, and he's really out to try and qualify. He's really going to go for it, and oh, he got caught there. He was almost round very quickly, as we saw in the first heat, but he got pulled back into the stopper wave there, the wave turning back on itself. Coming down now to this roll gate, he's going to have to really power on here. Very quickly over. Beautiful roll there by Melvin. Doesn't seem to be worried about clearing his head. Down into this slack water gate, where the eddy is, the slack water. Turning around, wasting time there though, caught in the slacker water, the shallow water. Back into the fast water there. Up through the two orange poles, the gate there, as he moves round now to passing his paddle through the hoop.
Well, he knows the name of the game here because he's been in Paddles Up. This is his fourth Paddles Up since its inception in 1983. He knows all the tricks that he should do by now through the hoop, and now he'll come up, and between the green and the orange, he's safely through that. There's the target, which is hit, and into the final stretch now. He did that, he came through, but picked up 5 penalty points there, and will turn, reverse, and out, and then throw the paddle up if he hasn't forgotten, just up and over, and it's up, but it's not over. So a total of 10 penalty points for Melvin Jones, and a finishing time of 3 minutes 9.7. The number 2 paddler in France, Manuel Brissot, coming up to the first gate, and he too has got quite a lot to do after his disappointing first run.
Yeah, Manuel did a excellent here last year, and he wants to get into the final. There's a lot of prestige for the paddlers in this event, and he there cuts out the stopper nicely, but gets caught by the pullback there from the water, having to work hard. This looks very easy, this stretch of water, but it's flowing, but it's still a lot of work for the paddlers going down to the roll gate. Over nicely, and seems to come up without any problems.
Again, it just seems to slightly disorientate them, that roll gate, to John.
That's right, yeah. It's just so cold. The water, it hits your head, and it's like getting into a freezing cold shower in the morning. You know, it really does stun you. But back to the man here. He's just coming out now, back into the flowing water. A lot of hard work here, coming from the fast into the slack water, but does that nicely. Stop the boat. That's what you can't afford to do, is stop the boat now, and he's going to go up through the zigzag section. Does it very... Oh, and he gets pushed back completely. He's hit the pole, so he's got a 5-second penalty. And he's got to complete it, otherwise he gets 20 seconds, but he does it. So he's just got the 5 there as he goes towards the target, over the bridge, down through that stopper, which is, well, you saw it there, stopped him dead, and that's why they're called stoppers.
So another disappointing run. He's not very much he can do with this. He's managing to get past the second last hurdle, up over the finishing line with his paddle, but he's picked up another 5 penalty points, and that is a finishing time of 2 minutes 50.6. Richard Fox determined to improve upon last year's second place. He's some 11 seconds behind the heat leader so far, Janek Skak from Yugoslavia, and it'll be fascinating to see Richard's the way Richard approaches this. He's certainly going for it, John.
Yeah, Fox always picked up a penalty. My God, he'll be so furious. He's designed part of this course, and he was telling me it was a clear course. And now he's already picked up 5, and he reckoned he could make up at least 5 and have the others making penalties. So he's over and up there through the roll gate without too much trouble, knowing he's got a 5, so he's going to have to work very hard and rely a bit on some problems from the others. Takes a wide turn there, but paddles across. Oh yeah, excellent. That looked low, but Fox used the water tremendously and the lean of his boat. And I think it's this bottom half of the course we should see some excitement from him on this move, but he's lost momentum there, and I think we could see the end of Fox.
Well, he knows he can't afford many more mistakes. Picking up a penalty there when he shouldn't have done. He's certainly got the target all right. Now he's got to come clean through the rest of this field.
Yeah, that's right. I think he just tried it too fast. He was clean there, and he's going to S the bottom, and he's going to rely on clean at the end.
Let's see if he gets the paddles up this time, because that's what scuppered him last year. No problem with that, but he has picked up 5 penalties and finishes in a time of 2 minutes 30.2. Next to go, the Dutch national champion Frits Sins, aged 21, and one of the very promising overseas paddlers.
Yeah, coming down here now, he's got 2:30.2 to beat, which was Fox's time. And I think he'll be just going for a clear run as much as possible. He knows that Fox will have got a penalty up at the start. I would think he's been told, but he's stopped there and he's wasting seconds. And this is the thing, he can't afford to go slowly, which is what he seems to be doing. This is the false impression that they get. They go slower to try and get the course clear and waste valuable time.
My impression, John, is that this is a harder course than the first part of the heat.
It's technically more difficult. The water might look a bit easier, it's not, but it's technically more difficult for courses. There's a lot more poles, there's a lot more concentration needed on this part of the course. Now you must remember it's a fairly heavy schedule for these paddlers. They don't get much break between the first and the second, and it doesn't look as though he's going to get inside Fox. I mean, it's 2:06 now, and he's got to really move on this bottom half of the course.
Well, a reprieve perhaps for Richard Fox, but it's not over yet. He's still got time. He's through that very nicely as he comes up to the target. That hasn't proved any problems. Now he's got a fairly testing finish.
Yeah, and the clock's ticking away here. It's 2:24, 2:25. I'm not sure he's going to do it.
And he exits from the final gate. He's got to get his paddle up and over. Does he do it? He's got it over. 2 minutes 30.3, and that's 1/10 of a second behind Richard Fox. Andrew Gladwin, the second fastest in the heat, who had a marvellous first run.
Yeah, Andy now coming down, and he's out the same camp as Richard Fox. He trains with him in Stone when Richard's in this country, and he's got to beat this time of Fox at 2.30.2, and this 2 minutes deadline is the thing they'd love to beat, but there's no chance. And Andy there stuck in the stopper. He's wasting time there, and he's going to hit this gate, and oh, tremendous holding there of the boat. He really had to work hard there, holding the boat dead against the moving current.
But he did start with a bit of an advantage time-wise on Fox, and he's dissipating that in the early part of this course.
Yeah, but so did Sims, and he blew it. And this is what I was saying earlier. You see, they come down, and he's into the eddy there. That's slack water, and he's wasting time. And this is the thing. They're trying to do it clear, and he's just picked up a 5-second penalty on that gate there as he went over. So he's got a 5-second penalty already.
So what a disappointing run so far for Andy Gladwin. He had such a marvellous run in the first part of this heat. Through the tyre, he's managed to get that through, and now across and up through and back he goes safely enough on that. The target hit, and back into the final part he comes.
That's right, he's got 5 seconds, so if we say this is 2:20 odd, then he's going to have to really work on this last piece to get into this final. He might just do it, Chris.
Well, time's looking good if he can get his paddle up and over, and he does. And he finishes with a time of 2:30.5, which puts him just into third place, and it's remarkable. The last three paddlers have finished within 0.3 of a second of each other. Janek Skak, the Yugoslav champion, and John Gosling, a somewhat surprising leader at this stage.
Yes, he was leading down after the first heats, and he's a very stocky, powerful paddler, and this type of length of course really does suit him. And what he's got to do is hold it together, keep his head, and he's in that stopper there, and he's getting held up, and that's what he can't afford to do. If he keeps his head, goes at a steady pace, he'll qualify for the final with Richard Fox at who's got 2:30.2. It's interesting now, Chris, that the amount of lead, if you compare this to the first heat, the first heat were much faster over this second half of the course. These guys seem to have blown it with the pressure on them.
Yes, they were very much the faster heat in the first part, but he's also now just struggling a little bit to get across there and come down too far.
Yeah, powering up though, and it's in the back of his mind. He knows he shouldn't get penalties on this, and that's what he must be thinking, and he hits that wave there, breaks out too soon. They're not actually losing this, they're throwing it away.
And he hasn't got the paddle through the tyre. He's got to come away back and do that, so he's wasted more time, and he's still getting a little bit mixed up with that, and now he's got the canoe the wrong way around, so he's righted himself now. So he is wasting a little bit of time here. It's by no means over, John.
No, certainly not. He's going to be struggling to qualify. He had such a lead, and we might see Fritz Sins in the final. I can't see him doing it because I cannot see him getting through.
Well, this is the last one he's got to get round, and then the paddle's up and over. He's round that, but is he going to manage it up and over? Oh, he hasn't got it. He hasn't got it over. The final obstacle has proved to be his undoing, and so Janek Skak, the Yugoslav champion, who appeared to have it in the bag, has failed to qualify. And here are the results. Richard Fox with a time of 2:30.2, Fritz Sins with a time of 2:30.3, Andy Gladwin 2:30.5, Janek Skak 2:34.1, Manuel Briso 2:50.6, and Melvin Jones 3:09.7. So Richard Fox and Fritz Sins are through to the final. So we now know 4 of the finalists, and John Gosling, it's looking like a pretty strong final.
It certainly is. We've got Donald Johnson, the defending Paddles Up champion, Peter Mittler, who is second in the world, to Richard Fox, who's also there, and he was second in last year's Paddles Up. And Fritz Sims, who is the Dutch champion, first time in the final, but tremendous performance at the moment.
Now let's have a look at Heat 3, the ladies' heat. What do you think they're going to make of this course?
I think they're going to be okay. We'll have to wait and see, but I mean, we have a very strong field. We have Margret Messelhausen, who is the current world champion from West Germany. She's come over especially for the event. We have the defending champion, Gail Allen, who was third in the world as well. We have Liz Sharman, who won the first ever Paddles Up when we held it in Llangollen. So it's incredibly strong. The rest of the girls all won medals last year at the World Championships or at the European Youth Championships. What a field.
Thank you, John. Well, to find out whether the ladies can indeed tame these turbulent waters, join us again for the third heat of Paddles Up. But for the moment, it's goodbye from all of us on the River Truellen. Hello and welcome from Bala in North Wales, where it's the third heat of Paddles Up. It's Ladies' Day and we have a truly international field for you with paddlers from England, from France and from Germany. So let's now have a look at the competitors.
Ishbel Grant, the youngest competitor in the field at 17 years of age from Great Britain. Karen Davis, age 19, from Great Britain. Miriam Jerusalmi, age 24, from France. Liz Sharman, the reigning British champion and former Paddles Up winner, age 27, from Great Britain. Marie-Françoise Grange, age 24, from France. Gail Allen, Paddles Up champion for the past 2 years, from Great Britain. Margita Messelhauser, the 19-year-old world champion from West Germany. So, starting us off on the ladies' heat, the youngest competitor in the field, Ishbel Grant, 17 years of age, and in she goes. And it'll be fascinating, John Gosling, to see just how these ladies perform in this course which demands so much strength as well as skill.
Yeah, if you remember, we were talking to Ishbel last night. She was looking really worried. She said, it's my first Paddles Up ever. And she really is a tremendous competitor. She'll come down the course here, she'll give everything. She's the European Youth Champion for ladies. And she's made a mistake there. She's going to be in real trouble and go over the 4. She's collected a 20 there, and she's collected a 20. She's lost it completely. What's happened there, Chris? She just lost that manoeuvre and then got washed down. You can see how difficult this course is.
Well, that'll give you some idea of the degree of difficulty. She was going so well too, and then just completely missed out on those 2 gates. She's now managed to get herself back onto an even keel and makes now for the reverse gate, and she's got the pirouette. Remember, of course, it's worth remembering that the ladies and the men compete on level terms over the same course, so it's the same degree of difficulty for both. And she certainly touched the ball, but with the wrong part, with her head, and that doesn't count. So she's looking as she's going to have to miss out on that one as well, and incur another 5-point penalty. And she turns now in despair and makes for the line, having picked up 45 penalty points. Ranked number 3 in Great Britain, Karen Davis, age 19, from Colford. And in she goes, and makes her way now up to the first gate.
Yeah, she came down the slide there, which is the replica of a sea launch coming off the bank. Comes down nicely. Karen, one of our real up-and-coming young paddlers. She's moved out of youths and into the full senior team. Bronze medalist at last year's World Championships in the team event. And for the viewers that saw last year's series, they'll remember that Karen had a nasty swim at the end of the first half of the heats in the ladies. So she's out to A, make the second half of the heats and picks up a 5-second there, but B, to get into the final. Remember, 2 of these girls are going to go through, Chris, with the 4 men through into the final.
Well, she picked up another one there, touching the gate, but at this she did actually make the gates this time, but she's in trouble now. She's come down, broken out a little bit too far down, so she's got to come all the way back, and you can see the strain it is for these lady paddlers against this pretty ferocious current. Now down she goes. She did well there with that manoeuvre, and goes down now past the marker. And the next gate that will confront her will be the reverse.
Yeah, some of these girls could have trouble with this reverse because there's a big hole there, not a stopper, just a big hole of water. Karen made it look incredibly simple. Can she do the ball?
It really is remarkable because she's a wisp of a thing, but she's having trouble at the pirouette, and will she have got to give it one more chance for her second attempt. Decides against it and makes straight for the line. So she'll have picked up 15 penalty points and a finishing time of 1 minute 42.2. The first of the overseas ladies, and a very attractive one she is too, Myriam Jarousami from France. In she goes, and lost a little bit of time there, but she's making her way now, having made up for that, and going confidently through the first and into the second. But the worst is yet to come, John.
Yeah, this young lady was 4th in the World Championships last year, gold medalist in the team event. The French ladies won it, lent the boat nicely there. I know she's been getting some hints off Richard Fox on this course, completely submerged there as she went through that stopper wave, the wave turning back, breaks out into the eddy at 5, and now this is the part where the other two girls have been having trouble, but Myriam looks very confident as she's approaching it, but I think she's taken the wrong line.
Well, she has a reputation for picking up a few penalty points, but a very exciting paddler she is, and she's doing remarkably well. Good time so far, and she's safely around that 360-degree turn, or did she just clip it, John?
Yeah, she clipped it. She caught it. The boat pulled out, which is what we were trying to do with that gate. The men were able to power up. The girls, without so much power, just struggled a bit there. Now she's turning for the reverse gate, made it look quite simple there, lifted the paddle high, and can she be the first lady to hit the ball?
Well, great economy of movement so far for Myriam, and she's not made it on the first attempt, going round again and going to try it.
Yeah, the girls have real trouble dipping the stern, as you see Myriam there, trying to put the back end underwater to lift it up, and she fails there and goes down to the finishing line.
And another 5 penalty points for Myriam, bringing up a total of 15 and a finishing time of 1 minute 37. Former world champion and reigning British champion Liz Sharman back with the paddles up, and how nice it is to have her back, but trouble right away for her. She had just a little bit of a problem coming off that ramp, but safely through the first gate.
No, she clipped the first gate there with the bottom of the boat, Chris. You see, these paddlers, they're very crafty, they hide the clips, but Liz is taking it nice and steady. She was trying to do a clear run, but she's clipped that first gate, but that won't deter her at all. She's an experienced paddler, and she'll be just trying to get a nice safe run under her belt for the first half of this course. She knows there's a long way left yet. Very close on that one, but she does all right. She's got to power a bit now to get this gate 6, does it nicely and down. Low break out there again from the girls. We haven't seen anyone break into that gate like Fox did in Heat 2, but Liz up there, turns nicely, the stopper wave on itself, turning on itself there, no trouble at all. Liz, in the back of her mind now, I bet you she's thinking about this pirouette gate and this ball where everyone has problems.
Well, she was the original winner in 1983 of Paddles Up, missed last year's competition, but she's got through that reverse gate well. Now let's see what Liz can do on the pirouette. None of the girls have got closer. She was so close there. That was bad luck. She may well feel that she's certainly got to go around for another shot. She may well feel so frustrated. She's so close, but no chance. So Liz Sharman finishes with 10 penalty points and a finishing time of 1 minute 31.1, but it's still good enough to take her into the lead. Marie-Françoise Grange from France, 24 years of age, the world team champion, and France's leading contender for next year's World Championships, which are held at Bourg-Saint-Maurice, our home waters. Let's see what she makes of this, John.
Yeah, she was in last year's event. She enjoyed it so much. She's come back again this year. And she'll just be looking again. All these girls are trying for steady runs. She's going down under the limbos. These limbos are actually put in holes where the waves go underwater as opposed to being above them. And Marie there making it look very simple. Again, I think the problem for the girls is going to be on this bottom half as she clips that gate by just losing. The lack of concentration that was there, Chris. She just clipped that gate, and now she approaches gate 6.
And again, she's touched gate 6. I think she managed to get through it, but certainly picked up another 5 penalty points there, broken out a little bit far down, having to come back and touch that one too, so she's beginning to lose it here. And there were more disasters, unfortunately, for Marie-Françoise Grange further down the course. She picked up a total of 40 penalty points and finished in a time of 2 minutes 13.4. Gail Allen, the reigning Paddles Up champion, and in she goes from Ambleside, 20 years of age, and the time to beat that of Liz Sharman's 1 minute 31.1. Tremendous rivals. Gail number 2, ranked number 2 and number 3 in the world. So she was telling me that obviously she has the World Championships next year in France very much in her sights, and a good start for Gail Allen.
Yeah, Gail likes this Paddles Up competition. She's won it for the last 2 years, and she does hold it very close to her. She really enjoys the event. She likes to win. She's been suffering a bit with a cold, and she was a bit worried, but if she's not suffering with something... Oh, and she hits the rock there, approaching the fall. Incredible skill there, Chris, to hold that boat halfway down Mill Falls. Tremendous, incredible breakout like Fox there. She's just showing the skill and the talent that this girl really has.
Oh, it's terrific power to be able to right herself after that. She seemed to be in a whole lot of trouble, but she's doing exceptionally well. And that 1 minute 31.1 is very much within her range now as she goes through the reverse gate and makes her way now up to the ball, which has defeated all the ladies so far. Let's see if she can get it. Not on the first time she can't. Look at the power, look at the strength. No, she'll have to give that up. So no luck at the pirouette, but still Gail Allen goes into the lead with a time of 1 minute to 22.9. The reigning world champion, Margita Messelhauser, aged 19, from West Germany, and one of the most powerful of the lady paddlers, and into a little bit of trouble right away though, John.
Yeah, I think she came down the slide too fast there. They gave her a push off the top, and she just submerged completely. Tremendous. She did very well to actually hold the boat upright. It's her first event. We're really pleased to have her here. She's come over specially. She's had a few days off college to come over, and it's so nice to have her here. She doesn't travel outside Germany that often, and she's a tremendous competitor, and she's a good ambassador for German slalom canoeing.
Well, a little bit of a surprise, her winning the championships, but she's certainly going incredibly well at the moment now. Let's see if she can negotiate this very difficult hazard. Well, she doesn't. And she's over. She's turned. No, she's righted herself again, but she's in all sorts of trouble now because she's got to come all the way back. Yeah, she's a very powerful girl, and it was sheer strength that pulled her through that stopper wave that turns back on itself there. Picked up a few penalties, almost in it again. She's just going down nicely now. She's probably just collecting her thoughts now before the reverse gate and the pirouette. But she did very well to control the boat there, as Gail did on the previous run. Down now through the reverse gate, turns and neatly through that. And she makes her way now for the final hazard, this pirouette. Oh, she's close. She's certainly got the strength to get up there, John, but again, it's eluded her.
Yeah, it is difficult. The girls trying to dip the sterns in this boat. They've all got cut-down boats as well for this event, especially this year.
So no luck there for Margita Messelhauser at the pirouette, and she finished with 10 penalty points for a time of 1 minute 43.2. The results at the halfway: Gail Allen 1:22.9, Liz Sharman with a time of 1 minute 31.1, Miriam Jarusalmi 1 minute 37. Karen Davis, 1 minute 42.2. Margit Messelhauser, 1 minute 43.2. Ishbel Grant, 2 minutes 5.1. And Marie-Françoise Grange with a time of 2 minutes 13.4.
The second part of Heat 3, the ladies' heat. The leader at this stage, Gail Allen. Gail, well done.
Thank you.
It's a good run for you.
Yeah, I nearly panicked halfway down though, because I rammed into the rocks and I thought, oh, what am I going to do now? And suddenly I saw the stopper there and I worked my way along it and managed to get through the gate. But I mean, I was quite lucky there, I think.
You showed remarkable strength, apart from the skill, because it's fairly testing, isn't it, for the ladies?
It is, yeah. Unfortunately, I've had a cold as well, so I mean, I wasn't feeling quite up to my normal sort of standard. But I think with it being big water and so on, my natural skills tend to overtake on that, and I competed, better than I thought I would do.
This is a pretty demanding course, this second half.
It is, yes. I think it's going to be a lot colder as well. We've got to go in quite a few times, and there's more waves on here, but we'll see how it goes.
Gail, thanks very much indeed. So let's get on now with the action, and up on the starting line from France, Marie-Françoise Grange.
Second in the World Championships last year, the French lady Marie-Françoise Grange made a bit of a mess of her first run, and it'll be fascinating, John Gosling, to see what the ladies make of this very testing course.
That's right, yeah, but as we've seen in the two heats so far, anything can happen. And she comes down there fairly sideways on, a bit bad for Marie, but she's into the stopper, pulls out nicely, better than most of the men did that. Pulls round now through the green poles, which are the downstream poles, the orange are the upstream, and she's now going over to approach this roll gate where she'll get her hair wet.
Some of them approach it with some trepidation. Let's see what she's doing. She's staying under for a little bit longer than she would have wished, but came right in the end, and she's making a good progress now and making up for a little bit of lost time.
Yeah, she completely messed the move up there because she has to go through that gate forward downstream, so she had to do a full spin above the gate, so she's wasting time. She must have it in the back of her mind here that she's out of the competition, but as we said earlier, anything happens.
Well, disappointing run for her because she was certainly thought of as a leading contender to win this. She's through the tyre without any problems, but once again got caught in the eddy. Yeah,
she hit the rocks there, the slack water proving more problem than the moving water for her. She's now going up through the zigzag movement, very easily done, very nicely done. She's got to hit that target, which she does very nicely, get the paddles back into her hand to go through this stop with the wave, turn it back on itself, pulls her straight back in there.
That'll give you some idea, I think, of the power of that wave.
Well, that's right, incredibly powerful. And she's clipped that gate, so that's 5 seconds penalty. She goes to the finish.
So a disappointing descent there for Marie-Françoise Grange. 10 penalty points and a finishing time of 3:57.9. Ishbel Grant, the youngest lady in the competition, in fact, 17 years of age, and faces these turbulent waters with some trepidation.
Yeah, I sort of mimicked her a bit on the first half of the course, but she's really going there, real aggression to get into this eddy here, really good movement there, powering up now. She's really psyched herself up for this second half of the course, through into the stopper, riding the stopper wave that turns back, really forcing a boat out there to get a better line through to and on the way down to the roll gate.
In a way, John, it's very much more on these sort of waters, strength as opposed to skill, I suppose, is it?
Well, yeah, power, strength comes into it, but the skill is always there, and they need the skill, and there she is in a pink boat, over very quickly. Very nice roll from her there, and she's lost the sense a bit, because you can see they're gasping for breath. She's now just spinning a boat up the top. This might be the way all the ladies are doing it, so they're not going to waste too much time. She's stuck, the back of the boat there, stuck in the slack water as she gets across from the downstream gate into the upstream gate, very high, probably too high for her, as she moves up now and over and down towards the tube.
In fact, she's making a better fist of this second descent, which is, if anything, slightly more difficult than the first, but she's got caught up there again as she approaches the tyre, through the tyre, a little bit of a hold up there as she comes across the floor now and in between the orange and the green and back down, and she's done that maneuver very well indeed. Now the target, no problems there, coming down into this huge stopper wave. Let's see what she makes of this. That's well done, very well negotiated by Ishbel Grant, and she comes up now to the second last hazard. She's clipped it, so 5 penalty points are picked up there. She's now going round and up. Oh, she hasn't made it. She just didn't have the energy to get the paddle up over the top. 10 penalty points and a finishing time of 3 minutes 53.3. The world champion, the West German Margita Messelhauser, 19 years of age, but extremely strong and has great ability to cope, I think, with the unexpected water conditions.
Yeah, she's a real powerhouse, really. I mean, the aggression on her face there as she approached that first gate, tremendous. Quick reflections there as she goes up through 2, cuts out, stuck in the stopper. It's pulled her back in now. She's going to have to fight to get the boat out. Does it very nicely now and starts powering her way down towards this roll gate. I know she's not looking forward to it, but she's going to go and try and get through to this paddles up final to compete against Peter Mithik.
Well, which chance which she must have if she keeps clean. That was an excellent roll, where she's just shaking her head a little bit there, held up just slightly, but if she comes down clean, John, she's very well in with a chance.
Well, yeah, she did that straight movement there, which is a very difficult move for the girls, and she's fighting now, but she's lost the boat there. She's going too far downstream, you see, and she's missed the gate.
She's going down backwards. And Miriam Messelhauser, the world champion, not having a good time. She incurred more penalties on the way down and finished with a time of 3 minutes 41.2. The slightly built but immensely brave and courageous Karen Davis, 19 years of age, coming down. She must know what's befallen the other competitors, the other lady competitors, and she'll now just be wanting to come down without making any rash mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, she's in the position, actually, if she can get a clear running, she stands a good chance of qualifying, because the ladies are not doing it very clear. She's in the stopper there, the bit Karen loves, straight through it, no problem at all. Uses pure skill, not strength, to get through that. And this is the art some of these ladies have. They use the skill as opposed to the strength and the power of the men. Little Karen here, she's a tremendous girl. what she's doing there, I have no idea. She rolled too soon completely. I think she just worried about the roll gate. She's gone through it, and she's got the penalty because they have to roll on the gate line. And a sprayed X come off. That was obviously
yes, she's lost control completely now. Is the second stick away, John? What's happening here?
Well, a sprayed X, which is the skirt that they wear around the boat to keep the water out, has come off completely, and she must be so disappointed.
So Karen Davis disappointingly finished the course with 40 penalty points and a finishing time of 4 minutes 1.6. Myriam Jarousalmi from France, one of the most exciting of the lady paddlers in the world, and from the Augsburg World Championships where she came 4th, so she's got a tremendous track record.
Yeah, she's approaching this now, and I've said it before and I'm going to say it again, these girls only have to do it clear, and they've got it sewn up, and she cuts that very nicely, but the stoppers pulled her back in there, pulling her in, the waves turning back on themselves, but she hasn't wasted too much time now. She's obviously very cautious the way she's paddling to this roll gate, but that's the thing. If she can keep it clear and not waste too much time on the roll, she could get through to the final. She's over there, she's okay, and she's up quite quickly. Hair all over the shop and puffing a bit, but she's doing quite nicely.
It's a question of whether she can see out of that helmet now, John, because it's come down right across her face as a jet thunders overhead, and whether she has the stamina now just to keep going. This is what's done for some of the other ladies.
Yeah, but she got over to that upstream gate, which was the difficult one where they've been having the problems. Now she comes down to the tyre, she pulls it down, she's having a bit of trouble. Bit of advice obviously came in from the other competitors before they started the second half of the heat here, and now she's got to power upstream, and she's caught it, so she's got a 5-second penalty on that gate as she approaches the target. Did it nicely though. Now she's got to put the power on to get through this stopper.
She's done very well, and this is going to be a respectable time for Myriam. She's just got the 2 hazards to go. One of them very successfully completed now, and the last with the paddle up. Does she have the energy? She does, and she's finished with 5 penalty points in a time of 3 minutes 15.1, the best of the ladies so far. So the time to beat for Liz Sharman, the British champion, 3 minutes 15.1 seconds, and just look at the determination on her face. She wants to win back this Paddles Up trophy, which she won in 1983.
Yeah, Liz coming down now. Grit, determination, everything. Oh, and she's almost over there. She went too far in over on the left-hand bank there, and I think she hit the front of the boat into the bank. She's in the stopper and riding it nicely, leaning well forward there, which is a good way of doing it very quickly. And Liz now just checking the spray deck. You notice she's just looking down as she's going down towards the roll gate, making sure she's all in order as she approaches this gate. Over very nice.
It's the roll gate which has tired out some of the other ladies, but not Liz. She came up from that very well indeed and is in full control now as she comes to, oh, I say that, the kiss of death again, because she just touched that and has picked up 5 penalty points now coming across. So just still got plenty of time in hand if she's careful from now on in.
Yeah, she's shaking her head. I think the roll gate affected her more than we were imagining here, but she hits that stopper wave there, turning on itself, and really gets a mouthful of water, passes the paddle through there without any effort at all. Now she's going to take a drive straight up here, and I think she'll try and do a spin on the gate. Yeah, see, she turned the boat as she was going through the gate then, hits the target. If she can keep it with just that 1.5, she'll be okay. Hits the stopper and completely down, spins nicely and did it forward, so she's all right there.
Recovered very well indeed. Again, we can see the power of that stopper wave, and she's got a little bit of time in hand if she's careful now. Up with the paddle, she's making no mistakes. The paddle goes over, and she's got those 5 penalty points and a finishing time of 3 minutes 7 seconds, and that's the best so far. Gail Allen, the Paddles Up champion for the last 2 years, going for the hat-trick, and she holds almost a 9-second lead over Liz Sharman coming down in this second part of the first of the heat. So it's going to be just a careful run for Gail, and she'll be through quite safely.
Yeah, she's in the stopper there a bit too far, really. She used a completely different technique to Liz, but seems to go on. In the heat last year, she actually lost the heat to Viv Golding and then got revenge in the final. So Gail knows that what she really has to do is, oh, she's hit the gate up. That is going to slow her down. That's going to confuse her. She's going to have trouble now. You can see she's looking a bit worried on her face. She has had flu, and whether it's going to tell on the second half of this course, because she did very well on the first half, but it could get a bit tight for her down here. She's looking very bad indeed.
She almost picked up penalties again there, but managed to evade the poles, and now it's just a question of regaining her control and composure.
Yeah, she lost it a bit there, so she's just got that 5 for hitting and smacking the roll gate. She's obviously struggling a bit. She's feeling this flu effect she's had, and she's going to have to power on if she wants to qualify. She's got to beat 3:15.1 to qualify, and she's hit the target there. She needs to get straight on to get down through this stopper. Does it nicely now. I think she might do this, but it's going to be a bit close, Chris.
Well, it's going to be very tight for the defending champion. She's got to be careful, and she just doesn't have the energy to get that paddle up over the finishing line. But her finishing time with the 10 penalty points is 3 minutes 3 seconds, and that's the fastest time of the ladies, so she's safely through to the final. And the results: Gail Allen with a time of 3 minutes 3 seconds, Liz Sharman 3 minutes 7 seconds, Miriam Jerusalmi 3 minutes 15.1, Margaret Messelhauser 3 minutes 41.2, Ishbel Grant 3 minutes 53.3, Marie-Françoise Grange 3 minutes 57.9, and Karen Davis 4 minutes 1.6.
So Gail Allen and Liz Sharman have battled their way through to the final, where they'll be joined by Peter Mickeler, Donald Johnson, Richard Fox and Fritz Sins. Join us then for the final, but for the moment from North Wales, goodbye. Welcome to the 1986 final of Paddles Up. We're on the banks of the River Tryweryn in North Wales. We're down to the last 6. We have a new course. John Gosling, what can we expect from it?
Well, what we've done, the course is in 2 halves again, and the first half is a sub-minute course, I expect. It's slalom gates and very snappy. But the second half, it's really exciting. We've put in the ball, the pirouette gate there is. We've put in stopper riding, which is the wave that turns back on itself. They're passing the paddle through a tube. And then at the end, we've put a really nice little subtle twist in that I think the paddlers are going to enjoy.
The sting in the tail. And of course, one of the unique things is the fact that the men and the women will be competing on level terms over the same course.
That's right, and we also have the past 4 winners. We've got Richard Fox, who's the current world champion and was second last year to Donald Johnson, who's here defending the title, made it into the final, tremendous. And in the ladies, Gail Allen, who is the current Paddles Up champion, is defending it from Liz Sharman, who won the very first Paddles Up ladies competition.
And of course, last year Richard Fox came unstuck at the very last gate. Do you think he'll do better this time?
Well, I know Richard hopes he does. I think he might, but we'll have to wait and see, won't we?
Well, before the action, let's now have a look at the 6 finalists.
Liz Sharman, the reigning British champion and former Paddles Up winner, aged 27, from Great Britain. Gail Allen from Ambleside, ranked 3rd in the world and twice winner of Paddles Up. Donald Johnson, 22 years of age, from New Zealand, reigning Paddles Up champion, ranked 11th in the world. Fritz Sins from Holland. This is his 3rd Paddles Up competition, but the first time he's made the final. Richard Fox, 27-year-old individual world kayak champion since 1981, finished runner-up in Paddles Up last year. Peter Mickeler, the 27-year-old West German, in his 2nd Paddles Up, but his first final. The first part of the final about to get underway. Liz Sharman, the reigning British champion, on the ramp, and in she goes. And there'll be a great deal of interest from the other competitors, the other finalists, just to see how Liz copes with this course, which is obviously the trickiest of the series so far. And we have our resident expert, John Gosling, to take us through the field.
Yeah, Chris, she's coming down now. She's gone through the 2 limbo gates, which were 2 and 3, and now through gate 4, which is a downstream gate, the green poles, with an incredibly difficult breakout there for the upstream gate, the orange gate there. She's going to come up and have to go round that stopper there, which is a wave that turns back on itself, go down now towards 6 and 7, which are the zigzag gates. She goes right round that one, round the other one now, and then she goes into a reverse gate with a full spin apron to get the forward downstream gate.
And so Liz Sharman goes over the finishing line in a time of 53.5. Next off, Gail Allen, who will have been immensely encouraged, I think, by watching or hearing about the performance of Liz Sharman. And Gail now making her way up to this first gate. A very good run by Liz Sharman, and certainly the defending champion Gail Allen will want to better that. She's on now up to the limbo.
Yeah, Gail there, no trouble really. This section of the water is called the graveyard, because when the water's turned off, it's just like a graveyard with the stones sticking up, which all the natural hazards are there to really put these paddlers to the test. You can see how white and foamy the water is. A bit low there, Gail. She's going to have to work hard to come back upstream and go into the... Oh, beautiful spin there. I don't think she meant it there.
So 53.5, the time set by Liz Sharman to beat, and although she's wasted a little bit of time further up, she's making up for that now.
Yeah, she's going now round the rocks there and into this reverse gate with the spin after it, taking her time. She's holding it steady, but she's clipped the pole, so she's got a 5 seconds there.
And already then slower than Liz Sharman, and very disappointed with herself at that. Finishes in a time of 57.93 plus the 5 penalty points. Donald Johnson out to win Paddles Up for the second year in succession. Off he goes and in and making tracks as quickly as he can for this first gate.
Yeah, Donald's held up a bit there in the water, but well into his stride now. And these, as we said before, are the length of courses he likes. This should be a sub-minute course for Donald. Looking very determined as he goes under the 2 limbos. Thrown a little to the left-hand side of the water there, but coming on a nice approach for the breakout.
Ranked 11th in the world. Remember, he came very strongly from the back of the field last year, so he tends to reserve his best for last, and he's certainly making good progress now.
Yeah, going for the zigzag now. Oh, he's in trouble. He missed a stroke there and almost lost his paddle under his boat, but he's okay, and over to this reverse gate.
Found that safely enough. So that's Donald Johnson clear with a finishing time of 49.8. Fritz Sins, the 21-year-old from Holland, his 3rd competition in the Paddles Up.
It's his first time, Chris, into the final. He was really pleased talking to him before this final that he's made it. He's pleased to be here again, and coming down, he's looking very determined, concentrating an awful lot. This lad's matured an awful lot over the years we've known him, but looking determined. He's just got to keep it clean. This is going to be the object here. You've got to keep the run clean.
So 49.8, the time set on the previous run by the defending champion Donald Johnson. And as you were saying, John, the object of the exercise now for Fritz Sins is simply to keep a clean sheet. That may not be quite so easy as it sounds, although so far so good for Sins. He's negotiating this difficult course very well indeed.
Yeah, through the reverse gate now, full spin into this last gate and sprint down to the finish.
And a clean descent for Fritz Sins, giving him a time of 51.9. Richard Fox pipped at the post for last year's Paddled Up by Donald Johnson. We can really expect to see him go the full distance here, John.
Yeah, I'm looking for Fox to break 50 seconds here. He's really going to burn down this top course. He was held a bit there by when he went in off the slide, because we're doing the slide as the sea launch. But Fox is motoring now, and we should see him really tight into this breakout gate. Let's see if he can do it.
Well, he's shown some marvellous skills, although perhaps not quite at his best in the heats. He's certainly making up for lost time.
Yeah, he's 33 seconds to this point now, and he's really going well. He's only got to get round this pole, the reverse gate, and spin. He's going to break 50 seconds. I would think he'd like to have broke 40 seconds.
Well, let's not put the kiss of death on him. He's certainly going well now, and it's the sprint for the finish. And look at that time, 47 seconds, quite remarkable. Peter Mickler from West Germany, 27 years of age, came second in the 1985 World Championships and has had a very good Paddles Up in 1986.
Yeah, he's really pleased to be in the final again, and he blew last year's event, and he really is out to beat Fox at this and beat Johnson. They've been sharing a room, he and Donald, and he's really out to blow him away as such.
Well, Fox setting a tremendous pace, so he's got quite a bit to do, and perhaps just broke out a little bit lower there than he would have wanted.
Yeah, he's very fast round though, caught in that stopper there, the water turning back on his boat, so he's wasted a little time now. He's about 3 seconds down on Fox at this point, but anything can happen. Through
the reverse, no problem at all with that. And now the sprint, and it's a marvellous time if he can keep it going, but just outside Fox's time, 47.95. So at the halfway stage, this is how they stand. Richard Fox with a time of 47 seconds. Peter Mickler, 47.9. Donald Johnson, 49.8. Fritz Sins, 51.9. Liz Sharman, 53.5. And Gail Allen, 1 minute 2.9.
So for this last leg of the final, we have without any question the most demanding test yet. John, let's have a look at it.
Yeah, we have Ishbel Grant going down to try the course out for us, and she's set off now. And the first real obstacle is the figure of 8 here, gates 3 and 4. She has to go up and round them and downstream, and it's through that stopper wave which is turning back on itself. Down to the zigzag where there's 5 poles, green poles hanging down, and everyone they touch, it's 5 seconds penalties. So there's 25 penalties could be collected there, so that's pretty difficult. Moving on down, you've got the tyre where they're passing the paddle through. Then they go over the fall and through this stopper, which is tremendously powerful and can stop the boat dead. And then we go down to the little twist, the subtlety at the end, where they have to throw the paddles over the finish banner and then do an Eskimo roll. Now they can do that by retrieving the paddles and rolling up, or without the paddles, a hand roll, which is really exciting. The problem is, if they don't come up, they're out of the competition.
It looks absolutely terrifying. But let's now go up to the start line and Gail Allen.
So Gail Allen from Ambleside going for her 3rd win in a row in Paddles Up, but after the first run she was some 9 seconds behind Liz Sharman, so it's essential that she gets off to a good start.
Yeah, and she hit gate 1 there, Chris, as she came down, and so she's already got a 5-second penalty, and she's just hit gate 3, which is the forward upstream in the eddy, and now she's cutting across doing the figure of 8 gate here. She comes down, breaks out left, breaks out right, so she's already got 10 seconds penalties as she goes down to this zigzag manoeuvre round the green poles. And she can pick up 25 here if she's not careful.
Well, she's safely around that, and just look at the power of that water further up, where she had trouble with the figure of 8, but again she's clipped a pole.
Certainly is. She's now got 15 penalties as she comes to this very high time, very fast flowing water now. So now she's got the target round a green pole just to send her down this stopper fall, and you'll see her go down, the water will stop her dead, and she's over. Oh, brilliant recovery stroke there, up the same side, that's no trouble at all. Now up a slack water gate, round the stopper, and now she goes to the pirouette.
Well, she's got tremendous strength. It's no little skill, but she's got amazing strength for a 20-year-old, and she's coming up now to this pirouette, which she's got to try and hit before she goes off. She's decided that there's no chance there, so she's going to go on from the ball to the first of the 2 limbo gates. So let's see what she can do here in very rough water.
Yeah, and she hits the first one. They need to lean forward, I think, to get these, and she's gone through there now.
So 20 points picked up already. She's now got to throw the paddle up over the finishing line and then do the hand roll, which she manages all right, but a very disappointing run, although a smile on the face from Gail Allen. She finishes with 25 penalty points, 3 minutes 6.6. So Liz Sharman, going for her first Paddles Up title since 1983, will now know what she has to do, but John Gosling, there's many a slip on this course.
Well, that's right, yeah. Liz was really happy with the first half of the final, but as you've seen, it's so short in comparison to this. She's going down now to this figure of 8, breaks out the fast water into that slack eddy, comes up now, and she's going to have to go straight into that stopper. Beautifully done there.
Well, she's certainly managed to achieve what Gail Allen didn't, and she's clean so far. That very difficult figure of 8 manoeuvre, she really did marvellously well. Now she comes to the zigzag pole. She could pick up a lot of penalties here if she gets it wrong, but so far so good.
Yeah, she does a crafty little move there. She's obviously been thinking about this a lot. She's a bit slow, but she'll be going for a clean run. And don't forget, she's not only trying to beat Gail, but she's going to try and beat the men. She's already picked up a 5 now on that zigzag, so she's got 5 penalties as she goes down towards the target.
It's still going very well indeed. She hit the target, no problem there. She now goes up to the stopper, which is down into that stopper way. Then she's got to come round and up, and she's lost a little bit there, but managed to regain control.
Yeah, she's low down on the breakout there, but nicely round that pole. And as she approaches the pirouette, Let's see if she can do it. Let's see if she can hit that ball. Oh, and she...
Oh, and
yes!
she's done it. Marvellously done. Well, that'll give her tremendous confidence. This is a very good run indeed, because from the ball now she goes to the first of the 2 Limbos.
This is very respectable. Clips the first one. So she's got 10 seconds now, but she could be really competing with the men for the title here.
Oh, it's a marvellous run, and now she has to get over the finishing line, get the paddle up over the top. Is she, as she's getting herself set up? She's managed to get it, retrieve the paddle, do the roll, and that is a marvellous run from Liz Sharman. The 10 penalty points and a finishing time of 2 minutes 44.8. So Frits Sins, the first of the men competitors, the Dutch national champion, and he makes his way now up to this first gate at a slight angle, through that safely enough, and on his way to the second.
Yeah, Frits there going down through the second nicely, held by the stopper wave up there that you can't see, and clobbers the gate there, gate 3, absolutely annihilates it, but comes across now towards that gate 4 very nicely, very quick indeed with that paddle stroke as he goes down to this zigzag section.
Yes, he was almost just going a little bit too quickly for his own good at that, and lost a little bit of control, but now going through the zigzags and taking more time, slowing up just a little bit to get through here without more penalties.
Yeah, it's a very technical section, that zigzag, because they've been powering down up to there, and now this pass your paddle, it's very fast-flowing water there, and you see he's ended up going backwards, he's wasting time, he's now hit the target, no trouble at all. He's got 5-second penalties at the moment as he goes over the fall, hits the stopper.